Welcome back to Mountain Connections. Dan Abrams has a new show called Court Cam Presents. Let's take a look.
A&E puts viewers on the stand with new series Court Cam Presents Under Oath. Today I'm talking with host and executive producer Dan Abrams. Dan, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me more about Court Cam Presents Under Oath and what makes it very unique.
So this is a series where we look at murder defendants who take the witness stand in their own defense. Remember, that's rare that happens. And in each case, there was a camera in the courtroom, so we can show you the testimony. And it is incredibly compelling stuff. I mean, these are people who are trying to convince a jury that they either didn't do it or they shouldn't be held responsible for it. They claim self-defense in certain cases. And their life is on the line. I mean, either they're going to walk out a free person or they may get life in prison or possibly the death penalty in some cases. And so it all comes down to their credibility. And I think that that's what makes this series so unique and so interesting.
And I think we can make some obvious conclusions about why defendants would not take the stand and why most actually don't. But in your opinion, why is this unique and why do most of them not?
Well, most of them don't take the witness stand because most of them are so guilty that it's hard for them to explain exactly what happened. But there are also people who may not be guilty who choose not to testify because the prosecutors can bring in additional information about them that they wouldn't be able to bring in otherwise. They may feel that the person's not, a particularly good speaker and, isn't able to connect with people and might look guilty even if the person isn't. So there are a lot of factors that lawyers have to evaluate in deciding whether to put a defendant on the witness stand. And as you point out, in the vast majority of cases, they don't take the stand. That's why these cases where they do is so interesting. And that's why I think this series is so compelling.
It is very intriguing. Is it hard to find cases that fit your criteria? Because not only do you have this criteria that defendants are taking the stand, but you're also adding in video and audio recordings and a lot of other evidence into these cases that you're presenting.
Yeah, I mean, look, the good news for me in terms of pitching this as the producer was that, I have a network called the Law and Crime Network where we cover trials. And so we have 3 or 4 trials going on at any time. So we've got a whole library of these cases to choose from. So that was sort of point one on this in terms of being able to find the right cases. And from there, yeah, it's also sort of, who else will talk to us around this? Who can help us bring this to life beyond just the testimony of the defendant? So, it was a pretty rigorous process we went through in terms of figuring out, because this is a 20-episode series, what were going to be the cases that we're actually going to move forward with.
And in watching some clips from the show, it's emotional and difficult and also very intriguing as a viewer. Can you highlight any of the cases?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're doing cases mostly which, the average news watcher probably won't remember or know about. But there are also going to be some really interesting cases that people will have heard about. The Jodi Arias case is one of the ones that we're doing. There are a couple of cases involving police officers who were accused of murder, where they took the witness stand in their own defense. I think those are going to be particularly interesting to people. So there's a mix of cases, a mix of defenses that I think keeps the series moving and avoids it becoming sort of a one-trick pony as a series.
There's always been specific crimes and cases that have captured the world's attention. But I feel like right now we're in this moment of people really kind of going towards true crime and really kind of becoming more interested in it. Why do you think that is?
Look, I think people have always been interested in true crime. I mean, in the 1800s, the entertainment of the day was the galleries that were built in courtrooms so people could go watch. People would go occasionally to hear music and occasionally to go watch a trial. So it's long been part of American, and I hate to use this word, but entertainment. I also think that it's important for people to be able to watch because when you're talking about a trial where it's the people of the state of wherever versus a defendant, the people are being represented, the people of that state, by a prosecutor who is supposed to be representing them. And I think it's important for people to be able to see how that prosecutor is doing on behalf of the people. So I think it's valuable that, for example, there are cameras in courtrooms generally.
And not only do you have this great show coming out, you also have a new book and a new Lifetime movie.
Yeah, the new book is about the forgotten trial of Jack Ruby. It's called Kennedy's Avenger. And it's a case that is sort of shocking that people have relegated it as a footnote to history. But in 1964, this was the trial of the day, as you can imagine, because Lee Harvey Oswald, who killed Kennedy, was now dead. And Jack Ruby was the person who killed him on live television. The question becomes, how did he die an innocent man? Well, that's what the book goes through. And we go through all the details of what happened using the transcript, using coverage at the time to bring to life this really amazing case that very few people seem to know about. And then with regard to Lifetime, we pitched them the story of Jennifer and Fotis Doulos. Remember, this is the mom of 5 who disappeared. Dad gets charged. Dad takes his own life before the first hearing. And we're both going to be doing a dramatized version on Lifetime on the 5th of June, followed by a ripped from the headlines version, which is 10 to 11 on Saturday, June 5th as well.
You have so many great projects that you're working on. A&E's Court Cam presents Under Oath premieres Wednesday, June 2nd at 10 p.m. Eastern Time with 2 new back-to-back episodes. Dan Abrams, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. Can't wait to watch the series, read your new book, and check out your Lifetime movie.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.